Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. We are going to get started here pretty shortly. I do just want to give everyone a couple of minutes to join us, so just bear with us. If you need a drink of water, maybe a pen or pencil so that you can take some notes, that would be awesome. But we will get started very shortly. All right, perfect. Hopefully that allowed some time for others to join us. I'm very excited to introduce myself. My name is Nicole Neal. I have the honor of serving as team lead of student services here at Miller-Motte College. And my role is all about supporting students like you. I want to help make sure that you guys are having all of those resources that we provide, the guidance and the services that you need, especially in this online learning environment. So again, my name is Nicole Neal, and I'm going to pass it over to Jamar so that he can introduce himself as well.
Thank you so much, Nicole. So again, like Nicole said, my name is Jamar. Hello to everybody. I am the director here of Student Services Online at Miller-Motte College. Super stoked to be here today and just share some valuable tips. Some that you may already know or use, and some might be some you're discovering for the first time. Online can definitely feel intimidating at first, especially since many of us grew up in a traditional in-person classrooms. So as the world continues to evolve, online education is becoming more common, not just in academics, but in the workplace. So we'll just discuss a few things. We'll get this thing kicked off.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leslie Walther, and I am the program director for our general education courses here with Miller-Motte. So I'm excited to be here tonight and answer any questions you guys may have along the way and support you in any way that I can.
Great. And lastly, we do have Kelly Washington. She is our Senior Director of Education, and she'll be joining us here today a little later in our question and answer section. I do want to say that we're all really passionate about just helping students reach their full potential. And today, we're really thrilled to share some valuable study skills and tips with you guys. So whether you're new to this online classes and learning environment, or you're looking for just ways to boost your current study skills, we're here to offer you some practical advice, and hopefully those things that we're providing can make a really big difference. So let's go ahead and get started here. Right. So first we're going to talk about communication. Okay. So we're going to talk about what communication looks like here at Miller-Motte College and why it's so important to have great communication with your advisors. Communicating with your student service advisor is crucial for so many reasons. They play an essential role in just guiding you through your academic journey and ensuring that you're successful. So here are some key ways that your student service advisor can support you, along with the involvement of the faculty members to further enrich your experience here. So let's talk about academic guidance. Your advisor is going to be a really valuable resource just for understanding your courses and all of your degree requirements. They're really skilled in just helping you assess like your upcoming terms. They'll be able to help you plan ahead and making sure that you can balance that personal life and your workload. So whether you're managing, extracurricular activities from your kids, like my kids do basketball and track and football and all the things that they could possibly do, or if you have, a part-time job, or maybe you have some other personal commitments, your advisor is going to be the one that can assist in adjusting your course schedule and just balancing your academic and personal responsibilities so that they fit best for you. So your advisor also is going to be able to anticipate some of those upcoming courses and help you strategically plan for your coursework over your time here at Miller-Motte College. So they want to make sure that not only is it manageable for you, but you're also fulfilling all of the requirements that you need to graduate. So with this really tailored approach, it can make a significant difference in just maintaining a healthy work-life balance, like I mentioned before, while making sure that you're staying on track with all of your academic goals. The next thing that we'll talk about here is going to be personalized support, which I kind of touched on a little bit. But we all know that every student is going to have their unique challenges and needs, and your advisor is going to be there to support you and individualize that support for you. So whether you're struggling with time management or balancing your academics with those other responsibilities that we talked about earlier, or maybe you're just facing personal issues that can impact your studies, your advisor is going to be the one that can help provide that guidance and help you overcome some of those obstacles. And furthermore, you are going to have great faculty members that are, especially in your department, that can provide some mentorship and offer some additional support. So you guys got to meet Leslie in our introductions. She's one of our awesome program directors. Your program directors and your instructors, they specialize in academic advice. And they offer office hours, and they can discuss course material, which might further alleviate some of your stress that you may be facing, or, just some of those difficulties in life that we talked about. So when it comes to troubleshooting issues, we all know those things can happen. If you encounter academic, financial, personal difficulties, your advisor is going to be one of those first points of contact to help you navigate those challenges. So they are equipped to connect you with appropriate campus resources such as tutoring or financial aid or any additional services that we may offer here at Miller-Motte to help guide you along the way. Like I said earlier, faculty can also play an essential role here. They may be able to offer some insight into the academic difficulties that you may be facing in some of their classes. So I always encourage students to reach out to your instructors, utilize them as much as possible, and your program directors as well. They are there for that open communication and just being able to help you better navigate your way through your online experience. Lastly, we're going to talk about just building a relationship. Consistent communication. I can't speak on that enough, right? We want to make sure that we're talking to you as much as possible. Yes, while our advisors are always going to be reaching out to you and checking in with you and just making sure that you're staying on that path towards graduation, we also want to hear from you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a one-way street. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you. We want to know how we can be supportive in those relationships. We want to build those strong relationships with you guys. We want to understand your goals and your challenges so that we can better assist you throughout this academic journey. And just by having that open and regular communication, With both your advisor and those faculty members, you'll set yourself up to be more successful and you'll have a more fulfilling college experience. These relationships, they're not only going to assist you with things like immediate academic needs, but it can prepare you for some of those long-term professional and personal growth that you'll want to see in yourself. So next, we're going to move on to our time management in virtual learning. And that's a part of working from home. You get to hear dogs sometimes. So that's my dog's barking at the door for you guys. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit here now just on, what the time management looks like in working in online environments. So, in traditional classrooms, your schedules are fixed, right? So you're going to attend those classes at specific times and you're going to follow a certain routine and everything is going to be so structured. However, with us here at Miller-Motte, we're an asynchronous school, or online is asynchronous. So that means you get to learn at your own pace. So you'll get some virtual learning that offers a lot more flexibility, and it allows you to be able to manage your own time effectively. And so time management, like I said, is super crucial to being successful. So let's talk a little bit about self-paced learning. So many virtual courses are going to allow you to just go at your own pace. While this flexibility is super beneficial, like I said earlier, it can also lead to procrastination or falling behind. So effective time management helps students by just staying on track and setting some goals, maybe breaking your task into smaller chunks and allocating enough time for each subject and each assignment. So let's talk about just how you would manage those multiple responsibilities. So we'll get a lot of online learners, like I mentioned, that juggle a lot of other commitments like work or family. So with this, you'll want to make sure that your coursework is completed on time. So you'll have to make sure that you're setting priorities and being really realistic about what you can achieve every single day. We don't want you putting too much on your plate and then feeling like you're not being accomplished. We want to make sure that you are putting enough there that you are getting enough achieved, but at the same time, it's not overwhelming. A great way to do that is going to be by minimizing your distractions. So studying from home can obviously present some distractions, right? You just heard my dogs barking in the background. That could be a distraction. It could be household chores. It could be your family members running in and out of your learning space. Maybe it's your cell phone and social media. But just setting dedicated study times and creating a really focused environment can help you stay on track. So techniques, like I mentioned before, just like breaking your study time into focused intervals or smaller chunks can improve your productivity. So maybe you'll set an hour aside and say, I am only going to work on my discussion questions, which you'll learn more about discussion questions, but I'm only going to work on my discussion questions on Monday from 9 until 10 a.m. every single Monday. And maybe that's your time when the house is quiet. There's no kids there. You don't have to go to work. That's your time. And then on Tuesday, you're going to set a time for you to go ahead and work on all of your quizzes. So just making sure that you break it down into intervals so that you're as productive as you possibly can be is the best thing that you could possibly do. So lastly, we're going to talk about prioritizing your task. Making sure that your time management involves knowing which tasks are urgent and which tasks can kind of wait until a little bit later in the week. So by prioritizing your assignments, you're focusing on the most important task first. This will help just reduce some of your stress and avoid, that last minute scramble that we all do when we put things off until the last minute. And it'll help you just meet some of your deadlines with ease. Okay. So in summary, I just want you guys to all know that it's really essential in virtual learning to just make sure that you're staying on top of your coursework and balancing your other responsibilities and minimizing distractions as much as possible. And just knowing that with good planning and self-discipline, you can succeed in this online learning environment. Before we go to the next slide, I do want to talk to you all a little bit about the evolution of online learning. So you may know of AI, which is something that has just kind of evolved over time. And a lot more students are using AI, whether it be for note taking or whether it be for, helping you in writing papers, things like that. It's a super popular tool among students, professionals, and just anyone that needs to organize a large amount of information, right? So we do want to let you know that using any type of AI platforms is really applauded here. We love that. We do like to make sure that our students know how to use it effectively, and making sure that you are citing any work that you may use, and just knowing that there's awesome tools out there for you. So know that there's some note-taking apps out there that can transform how you capture and organize your notes, and it can offer maybe some more efficient and accurate ways to taking notes than the traditional manual writing down your notes. Okay. One of those apps that I do want to kind of mention is like otter.ai. And it's just super, like I said, effective and useful when you're taking down notes and you don't want to manually jot down everything. It can transcribe some of those things into real time, so that you don't have to work as hard, but we definitely want to see you using them to your benefit and using them effectively. I do want to let you know that while students can use AI, instructors use it as well. So I want you to know the flip side of it. So AI, it is used from instructors to automate like things like grading. They'll provide faster and more consistent evaluations of maybe some of your assignments. This allows you as students to get some quicker feedback. There are tools like GPT-0 that uses algorithms, and it can compare your work to large databases and sources, and it can identify any instances of like plagiarism or improper citation. So I just want you guys to know that, while the world of online learning is evolving, we want you to grow with it, and we want you to know that we applaud it and we love it here, and we just want you to know how to utilize it correctly. And if there's ever any questions, that's what we're here for, and we'd love to assist and help. So we are going to go ahead and move on, and I've done a ton of talking, so I'm going to turn it over to Jamar now, and he's going to just kind of go over our weekly assignment structure and what we suggest.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I thought you were going to steal the show for a minute. I was like, man, she's just going to keep going until this whole thing's over. So thank you for giving me a chance to speak here. I really appreciate it. I kind of want to build off some of the stuff that Nicole talked about that was very, very important, just as far as like prioritizing tasks and those things. There's a few things that I want you to do as well. Just making sure that you're engaging in your classes regularly. So make sure you log in at least once a day and check for updates. Just treat it like you were in a physical sense in a classroom. As soon as you walk into class, you would sit down, you would get out your materials, and you would start reading what's on the board. And what's on that board is going to be like your announcements. You're going to start seeing what the agenda is for the day. So once you log into your class, or as you're logging into your class, you should be logging in at least, once a day. This is going to help you stay on top of your discussions. It helps you stay on top of your feedback, your emails, and then also like just not procrastinating. We always want to plan for the unexpected. We never know what could happen, so we want to make sure that you have a backup plan in place. I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world, probably next to some others. And there's times where it comes back and I'm like, I should have did that a little bit earlier. So just making sure you plan for those unexpected things that could happen, especially with technology. Another thing that I want to point out is also just staying physically and mentally refreshed. I think that is like a really slept on thing. We're just so wired to like get up. We have a schedule in place. If you have kids, making sure they're good, making sure you're going to work. There's bills. There's all sorts of things that are just going on in a 24-hour day. Make sure you take regular breaks to prevent burnout from school and burnout from other things, and take care of yourself as well. Make sure you maintain a healthy sleep schedule to improve your focus and retention of the knowledge that you're going over. It is very self-paced, and we do work in units each week. Some of you guys may work ahead, but also, like I said, there's other life things that are going on. So the better that you take those breaks and you get sleep, this is just going to help you improve your scores and everything overall. And don't be afraid at the end of each week to review and just adjust your strategies regularly. Sometimes it's not a one size fits all types of thing. Sometimes one week was more busier than the other week. So at the end of each week, evaluate, see what worked. Like, man, maybe I spent too much time in class and I got burnt out, so I wasn't able to complete my quizzes, or I wasn't able to retain some of my information. So just make sure you're adjusting your study schedule as needed. And then also, look ahead at the upcoming workload that you may have, and just be flexible. Obviously, life happens, so we just need to make sure that we make the necessary changes to stay on track. So here we have a proposed weekly assignment structure schedule. What this schedule does is just going to help you really stay engaged and on track with your assignments. Discussion questions, they're going to be due every week on a Wednesday, and you're also required to speak with your classmates in there as well. So here's a weekly schedule of kind of what that looks like. You can always call in, or you could use different types of apps, which I'll show you here a little bit later on. You even have some stuff in your classroom that you may not know is available to you. So on Monday, we have like a weekly proposed schedule. Monday, new classes started. Let me get in and do my course introduction. My advisor's always giving me a call and saying, hey, classes started today. Don't forget to do your course introduction. That should also be a day that you're kind of going in and you're reviewing the syllabus and just seeing what's ahead of you for the whole entire class. That way you can make the necessary adjustments. Tuesday, you'll see here in green, you can use that as like your read from the book day. Okay, so you're using that day to read, take notes, again, adjust strategies as needed. There may be an assignment you want to start on a little bit earlier. You may want to start on your discussion post a little bit earlier because you have a lot going on Wednesday, and Wednesday's the actual due date. Okay. You'll also see here on a Wednesday that discussion question is always due every Wednesday, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. So that's really, really important. We all live in different parts of the world. I'm currently in Arizona, so I'm 3 hours behind Eastern Standard Time. Your classroom operates on Eastern Standard Time, so just making sure that you know what time zone that is so you're not getting any late points. So for me, my assignments will probably be due at 8:59 my time, because that would be 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. So I don't have as much time to put my homework off as maybe someone else because I'm in a different time zone. So just kind of understanding how your class is graded and what's going on is really crucial to your success. Okay. That discussion is going to be due on Wednesday there for you, and then you're going to follow up on Thursday. You should be reviewing the rest of the information that's there, any assignments that are left, doing those, and then also making sure that you're going in there. And now, since the discussion was due on Wednesday, now you have Thursday to go in there and pick from, more than one person. You can kind of read through posts and see which ones you want to respond to, and you'll be surprised on how many people may think the same as you, and then also some that may think differently than you. And that's the beauty of the discussion board. There's a diverse perspectives and there's deeper learning. So as you participate in these every Wednesday in each class throughout your program, you'll notice that. This also helps you stay in attendance as well. My team, along with Nicole, we always will give you calls once you start getting to 4 days out of class, just to make sure that you're not missing anything, or just make sure that you're getting the login. Life happens, things happens, and hey, sometimes I even need a reminder from Nicole to hey, make sure you check in with the team and do this. It's okay. That's what we're here for. We are a part of your support system. But as you log in every day, you'll see that you won't get as many attendance calls or us just saying hey, get back in the class. We just want to make sure you succeed, and we want to make sure that you graduate, because that is the most important thing. And that's why you chose us overall. It's just because of the support system that you have here. On Friday, this is another opportunity to do a peer post if you have not done one at that point. But also whatever is kind of getting wrapped up. I'm a Monday through Friday type of guy. I like to have the weekends for my family, and just being able to do activities with the kids, since we're all busy throughout the week. So for me, I want to have all my stuff done by Friday. But for you and your schedules, it might be a little bit different. You might work 12-hour days or 10-hour days, and you don't have the flexibility to get all your schoolwork done on Friday, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just a firm believer of having at least a day or two of no homework, no work, no anything, and just being able to relax. And that just keeps me fresh throughout the year, because it does wear on you after time. So Saturday and Sunday could also be those days of catching up if that doesn't work for you to complete your schoolwork by Friday. You also have Saturday, and then remember, Sunday is also the last day that you have to complete that work. But here's a key thing. Week 5, your classes will always end on a Friday. So the first 4 weeks, you have that flexibility to turn in homework on a Sunday, but that last week class will end on that Friday. So this is just an example of a just proposed weekly schedule that you could use to help you prioritize your task and just stay on point, so that way you're able to hit everything that you need to. Your GPA looks good. You're in a good, satisfactory academic progress. Everything's all good, and you're on track to graduate, which is the most important thing. So if you ever need help with the proposed weekly schedule, we have a team full of advisors, about 20, that will be very glad to help you just create just a little mock one for you to kind of use and adjust as needed. Okay. There's some other things that I did want to talk to you about, just about the different variety of engaging methods and homework that you might see in your class as you go through your program. You will see some simulations in some of your programs. These are particularly help you in fields like healthcare or business, and this allows students to develop those skills through real-world scenarios. So you'll see these along with your discussion questions, in which we talked about just the diverse perspectives and just working in the workplace. And then also you'll see some case studies that are in there, and these will really just help you enhance your problem solving and analytical skills by just looking at, again, real life or hypothetical situations that are really relevant to your field. So all of these diverse learning approaches just create a really good atmosphere that really just helps and just caters to different learning styles as it prepares you for the workforce. Because chances are you got in school, you're doing something specific, whether it's owning your own business, or you're getting into medical billing and coding, or you want to go into human resources, all these different things. We have to prep you so as soon as you're done and you're graduated, you're ready to get out in that workforce. All right. And as we go on to the next slide, in this slide, there's a few different apps here. I'll show you some in Canvas, but I'll show you one of my favorites that I use, and I think will probably be pretty convenient for you that's user-friendly. So all of your school emails, they're all Google. So I know they have at miller-motte.edu, but those are Google emails. Once you get logged in to your student email, you'll notice it's all operated through Google. And in Google, they have calendar events. We use them on a daily for work. And I use them also in my personal life when things are coming up, like bills or just reminders. Hey, daughter needs to go to the doctor, or just anything that kind of comes up. You can always put those on your Google Calendar, and it also can sync to your phone. This is good because it's really, really easy to use, and it integrates well with most of the other apps, including email. So it's also free, and you can kind of use that to just kind of master your time. There's another app that you may find in your app store. That's My Homework Student Planner. And this is a way for you to track assignments, exams, and projects, and also set due dates and upcoming tasks and reminders. It's just really a simple way, and it's designed for students to just really help you stay on track and meet those deadlines. We're pretty good, but sometimes, like I said, there's so much stuff that's going on in the world and going on in your personal lives that it's easy just to miss a simple due date. And we want to make sure that you know of all the things that you can use, that you can utilize, that you could just download on your phone that can keep you on track. There's also Todoist. This is another task manager that has due dates and reoccurring tasks. And it also syncs with a lot of your devices. So super, super effective with managing assignments and due dates. All of these are just to keep you on track. You can just kind of download and use and feel which one is just really best for you to use, because everyone has a different preference on different things.
And I'm going to suggest to use your Google as much as you possibly can, just because, like Jamar said, that your school email address is linked with the Google account. We also, as your advisors, are using Google. So that means that you can chat with us through, the Google chat. You can, send those emails. You can do all of those things. So I personally suggest using Google as much as possible. But like I said, there's some great and free apps out there that are really great to use and just keeping you on track.
Thank you, Nicole.
No problem.
All right, and as we transition to that next slide, and we're just going to talk about effective study strategy. So Nicole kind of talked about this a little bit early on, but really just finding a quiet study space. It is very, very important as you're doing school and you're trying to comprehend things that you've never seen before. And this may be the first time in just higher education for a lot of students, and you're just taking that next step and everything is just so new to you, which we've all been there and we understand. So finding a place that's just free from distractions will just really reduce the anxiety and just kind of help you think clearly and stay on track. There's also some textbook tools that I'm going to show you that you have in your books. If you're in any type of business class or really any class that uses McGraw-Hill and SimNet, just for effective reading and note-taking that you may not know that you have. And then I also want to talk about a read aloud text feature that you have here in your book. Like I said, that you just might not even know that you have. So as we transition to that next slide, this is just going to be some Canvas tips and tricks. So I'm just going to go ahead and screen share here. Just give me just a second as I get this up. All right. And that just popped up. And here you'll see mine's is a testing account, so it looks a little bit different. So don't panic if you're like, wait a minute, I don't see all these classes in mine. It is a little bit different, but I just kind of want to show you guys some things that are in here that you can kind of use for just staying on track. So one thing as you get into your class, I'm just going to click into one of the courses we have here. There is some to-do lists here. So we'll go in chronological order. I have like minimized some of my things, so you probably won't see as many on mine, but in here we'll let you know what you need to do for the week. So we go off weeks. So this week that we're currently in right now is week 2. So on your to-do list, you're probably seeing a lot of learning unit 2 things. So as you're going through and you're like, man, there's so much stuff. What do I need to complete? You can utilize this to-do list here. And as you're kind of going through and you're finishing things, you can kind of just exit out of it. So that's how you know, like, okay, I've done this one thing, but I still have my quiz that's ready to complete. So you'll see some of those. I also wanted to show you here, you'll see view course notifications. So if you're familiar with Canvas, you'll see this. You can click on here and there's a bunch of cool things here. So you can notify yourself immediately or weekly or just however. For me, I just did immediately. And as due dates, just kind of what you want here. So if you want a due date that's coming up, you can have it notify you immediately to your email. It could be to your personal email and also to your devices. I'm the type of person, I like it just to one of my emails and then also to my device. So I get that pop up on my phone just to let me know like, hey, Jamar, this is due. So that way I'm like, oh man, it is due. And you can work on just finding some time to make sure you get that completed. You can also enable notifications when your instructors start grading your assignments so you can get that real-time feedback. You can also, I think this is very, very important. If there's an announcement, your instructor posts announcements every single week on different things that are kind of going on. So I would notify immediately on that and then also send a push notification to your phone. So when that week pops up, whether it's Sunday or Monday, it will give you a notification on what the announcement is for the week. Your instructors spend a lot of time just kind of outlining what's due for the week. And sometimes if you're having some tech issues, they also have some things in there for the vendor if you're having trouble with your book. So this is really important to get those notifications when they come up. There's also some cool things. Like I said, your discussions in here. There's so many things. We could probably go on and on. But just going in there and just figuring out what works for you and what it is that you want to be notified on is super important. So that's also, if you don't want to use the Google Calendar and you're just like, oh, that's too much, you can always stick to just having your course notifications and keeping it there. And there's also a spot, I don't know if you've noticed, it'll be on that left-hand toolbar where it has the calendar. And you can also utilize the calendar here just as you would for a Google Calendar. Some of them are already pre-filled with your stuff on there that's already due. But if you wanted to you could always go, if it was just for that day, you can start on that day. You put in the title of what it is that you want. So quiz due. You would type on quiz due today. You would put it for that date. So today's the 25th. You could put the start time for whatever start time you want. I'll just put 5 p.m. to 11:59. And if you want to do your quiz every day on this day, you can always, remind me weekly on a Tuesday, and you submit that. It won't let me here in the testing account, but on yours, it will go to your calendar and it will put it in for you weekly on a Tuesday. So this is also a way for you to stay on track if you're not really utilizing your student email and you just strictly use Canvas. That's also there for you. So as I navigate back to the dashboard, I do want to show you some things in your textbook. So if you guys have McGraw-Hill Connect or any type of SimNet book, I want to show you how you can have it read aloud to you. So as you go into your book, Let me just make sure that screen shared over there for you, and it did. You'll see here one thing to note here. I know a lot of us are old school, and that is perfectly fine. If you prefer to not have an ebook and you want a loose leaf, they do give you that option to purchase it at a discounted rate. Most books will have that, so I want to let you know that is an option, even though the book is still good, it's still whole, it's available to you here. But if you want something a little bit more in the physical, you can purchase that discounted loose leaf option. So as I click on the book, so let me make sure that transitioned over, and it did. Yes, we are good. There's a few things here, okay? So there'll be this part where you can read aloud. As soon as you click it, it would read the whole entire page. And then there's also an AI reader here, which I'll get to and just show you kind of what that means. So typically, if you're in your book and you're just like, man, I just want to have it read this section to me, you can just highlight what it is that you want it to read. This will pop up. And this is really cool because you can add highlights, you can underline, you can box things. You can add a place mark. So say something you got busy and you don't know where you were when you were reading page 16. You can also set a place mark there. You can also add a note. So if Leslie was on there and she said, hey, you're going to be getting quizzed on this specific part, you could also add a note and just say, this will be on the quiz. I was one of those people when I was in school. They would always throw out those hints. And I'd be like, oh, yep, this is going to be on the test. Let me go ahead and circle this so I can make sure I go over it. So that's what that add note would be there for. And then there's also this part, which I think is the coolest. It will read the selected text aloud. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just play this for just a moment, just so you can kind of hear what that would look like.
An increasing trend related to product ownership is that many consumers of all ages are opting to rent rather than buy items such as books, homes, cars, furniture, tires and hubcaps, and even clothes.
So that's just an option for you. If the reading may be too intimidating or it's just a lot on your eyes and you had a long day, you don't feel like reading and you rather just listen, you can always highlight the selected fields that you wanted to read, and it will read to you. Also, another key thing that's here, I'm a person where I read something and I don't get it just on the first try. I have to read it 2 and 3 times to make sure that I'm retaining the information. So if there's a section in the book that may just be the verbiage may be a little bit too complex, you can always click on this AI reader right here. And when you click on it, it will just kind of simplify it down for you. And if you feel like it's still a little bit intimidating, you can press this here. It'll simplify it even further. So that whole paragraph, it will just simplify that even further. And now if you're ready, you can always quiz me on that section or that topic to really go further in to make sure that you're retaining the information. So this is available to you if you're taking any classes, and most of your classes are going to have McGraw-Hill or any type of SimNet books. You can always just have the paragraph read to you or simplify it down for you. You can have it again, like some of these sections are highlighted. You can have it highlighted for you. There's just a bunch of cool things that you can do in your book just to make sure, again, that you're retaining the information and just utilizing those tools. Right. So I know that was a lot of information to retain. Nicole went over some things. I went over some things. We're going to go ahead and start opening up the floor for a question and answer. I really, really do. Before we move forward, I really want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to really just be here with us and just listen and connect with us. We love our students and we just want to see you succeed. So as we set up these workshops, we would love for you all to attend and keep attending in the future and just kind of letting us know how we can assist you and also assist other students in the long run. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor. I see there are some questions. And All right. So from Candace, the first question I see is, how can I find out who my student advisor is? Um, Brittany, if I write back our number that's in this chat, will the students be able to see it? I guess we'll see. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So I'll go ahead and post the number to student services. That's one way you can see. And then also in your student portal, if you log in, take a look here. If you log in, there will also be a section where it'll say student advisor, and you'll see that their name's under there. That name could be James, that name could be Melanie. We have so many different student advisors. You could see it on there, or you could just simply just give us a call. Any one of us could help you, and then we could also let you know who your student advisor is then, if you prefer it that way. Great question. Keep them flowing in. What is the name of the AI note app again? You got that, Nicole? That's from Victoria. Thank you, Victoria, for asking the question.
Thanks, Victoria. Yep. I will, again, we'll add it into the chat because it's probably easier just to add all of that information into the chat so that you can actually see it. But there's so many different AI note-taking apps out there. One of the one that I mentioned during our conversation was Otter.ai. So there's just one. But I'm sure if you go into like Google, you can find millions of others that are good and free, I'm sure.
All right. From Melanie. Is that our Melanie? I wonder if that's our Melanie. Good picture of her being on here. Well, they're all our Melanies. Can I work ahead in class? If so, how far ahead can I work? Leslie.
Yes, you can work ahead in class, especially if you're trying to plan ahead because you know you're going to be really busy the next few days. I think it's great to work ahead as long as you're able to actually put in the work to get the reading done so that you can ensure you're doing the work correctly, so you're maximizing those points. So you can definitely work ahead. There's no necessarily gating, so you can work as much ahead as you would like. If there is, something, a question, or maybe your instructor hasn't posted the announcement for the week, right? The one-stop shop overview for week 4, and you want to do something in week 4, you can reach out to your instructor and they can give you any information from that announcement that you may need to do the work. And then a lot of instructors will post a want to work ahead announcement and have all of the videos from all of the weeks posted ahead of time in case you want to work ahead. So great question. Thank you.
Yes. Right. Let me see. There's another thing that's on there that you may be able to answer, Leslie.
So Lucid Whiteboard it's more going to be used possibly in your classroom with your instructor. And it's just a tool where you can work together as a group or collaborate with the class, or maybe they'll ask you a fun question and everybody can make a post-it and post it on the Lucid Whiteboard. So you might see that in a couple of the classes. And I think that you'll see that more as time goes on and all the instructors get more comfortable and confident with it, because it is somewhat new to us.
Thank you so much for that. Let's see. What's the next question?
Like James has a question that says, if I needed to find some resources in my area to help friends who have been impacted, do we have something like that? And James, that's a great question. We do have some resources that we provide to all of our students. One of them being findhelp.org. And that's just, Jamar posted it in the chat for you. That's just something that we utilize here in student services that can be a helpful tool. We can't guarantee anything, obviously, but there might be some resources available to you or friends in your area by simply putting in your zip code and seeing what's out there. So we are always here to help. We're always here to talk about it. We are always here to do whatever we possibly can.
What's the next one? Any other questions out there? These are all great questions. Thank you guys for asking. Uh-oh, we have one here from Chanel. If I'm behind, what is a helpful tool I can use? It's called Student Services. You can always give us a call and we can just kind of go over just really, and Leslie, you can build off this. Some of your assignments are just worth a little bit more sometimes. So we'll like strategically have you like maybe attack these assignments because they may impact your grade a little bit more. It's definitely not a one size fits all. That would be off each student's situation, where we should go first. And Leslie, if I'm missing anything.
No, I think that's great, Jamar. So just to piggyback off that is really just to reach out to your instructor as well and be specific. Say, I am behind. They're going to know you're behind. But specifically tell them, can you please help me set up a plan for time management or a plan on what I should start with? Should I start with my discussion questions that I've missed, or should I start with the projects? Ask them for help, and they have no problem setting up that plan for you as well.
Thank you for that, Leslie. Great question, Chanel. Nothing yet. These are all excellent questions. Thank you all for asking these and giving us the opportunity to give you some live feedback.
Like we said, if you're afraid to raise your hand here and ask your question, don't be afraid to give us a call. If you want to have that one-on-one conversation with us in student services, we are always open to having those conversations with you guys.
All right. All righty. So as we come to a close, again, Brittany put out that number there for student services. Definitely feel free to give us a call. We still have advisors in right now as well that we could help you if you have any questions. Our biggest thing is just we really, really want to see you on track, and we really want to see you graduate. So anything that we can do to assist you along the way, please don't hesitate. Sidebar, my grandmother used to always say a closed mouth don't get fed. So you have to make sure that you open your mouth and just say something. Even if you feel like it might be a silly question, there's no silly question. Like I said, we just want to see you through the finish line and have you graduate and just feeling proud. So thank you all for attending today and just taking the time to just hear us go over a few things that we think that could be helpful in your future. And we can't wait to see you at graduation.
Yes, thank you all for attending.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you all. Great job, everybody. Thank you.